cold, rainy spring day here in Ohio. The current radar is looking like it's going to rain for the next week, too. But you know what? That's okay. We're all still excited. Today's the day we're going on our first camping trip of the season. For this adventure, we'll be near Uniontown, Pennsylvania, at Forbes State Forest. We booked Motorized campsite number 3 on southern Chestnut Ridge, and we'll be staying there for 2 nights. Alright, let's get going. Time's a-wasting. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're ready. 1, 2, 3.
Alright, Ryder, here we go.
Forbes State Forest, right?
Driving east on 119 South, we're approaching the first ridge of the Allegheny Mountains, Chestnut Ridge. The ridge is 85 miles long, running from Indiana, PA, southeast all the way to Morgantown, West Virginia, reaching its highest elevation on its southern side, right astream. Just behind Chestnut Ridge, you can see the second ridge, Laurel Hill, in the distance. Its highest point is on its northern side, left of stream. You can actually see the slant of each mountain in this view. We're heading southeast along the ridge until we get to Lick Hollow. It's that massive drainage carved into the side of the mountain up there. This will be our gateway to the top of the ridge. US Route 40 enters the mountains here along Lick Run and winds its way 1,200 feet to the top of the ridge. It's high enough to affect incoming weather, make your ears pop, and delay the arrival of spring for the plants and animals that live there for a couple weeks. Notice how many leaves the trees have down here. Lots of green. This is going to change drastically in the next scene when we get to the top. Now we're on top of the ridge, heading south on Skyline Drive. Can you see the difference in the trees now? This area is just coming out of winter hibernation. While looking down slope, things have fully taken course for spring. We then turned left on Kirby Road and headed just a little bit down the east side of the mountain. You can see the valley ahead between the two ridges. The campsite is just ahead. We picked what looked like the most level spot and began setting up camp. We were losing daylight fast and the rain was coming. Although we had to set up in the pitch black, at least it didn't start raining until we were done. I'm going to take this time to eat my Taco Bell from earlier and watch some Beavis and Butthead. I'm going to join my parents in the A-liner in a little bit to watch a movie.
Thank you, Ryan. Mom? All right. Oh, that's fun. Propane's amazing, isn't it?
Propane.
Propane.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
What? You go.
Bakaru Banzai.
to the 80s, the Buckaroo Bonsai.
This is where he meets Pretty Penny. Penny Pretty.
That was such a great movie. I always love watching Buckaroo Banzai. Now I'm just in my tent, watching some Beavis and Butthead, letting the rain lull me to sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. What in the world was that ruckus? I quickly put my drone away and headed over to the camper.
We had a catastrophe.
I heard. What the heck?
Well, another one of these hooks cracked. It was
I figured that was gonna happen.
I figured.
After cleaning up the giant mess, we had some coffee and breakfast.
Sausage, egg, and cheese croissant from Jimmy Dean in the microwave.
Before we do anything, we decide to go into Uniontown to go to Walmart to get some water, Subway to get some
Take that
subs
back.
for our hike later, and wood for the fire.
You can't see in there. That's a nice little camper. Too bad it's so crowded.
20 minutes later, we arrived at Walmart.
Oh my.
We're going to get some water. We're going to get some
Good old H2O.
H2O.
So we do.
Found the water. Picked up a power strip,
I don't know.
and then headed for the checkout. The coffee Mom made this morning was really strong. We're both feeling pretty good.
Just one more.
We checked out and headed outside to find some nasty looking storm clouds hanging over the mountains.
Look at those clouds. Thank you.
After Walmart, we got some subs from Subway and some firewood from Get-Go before heading back into the mountain where our campsite was. Back at the site now, it's 1 o'clock p.m. and everybody is getting ready to go hiking. Let's take a look at what we got planned for the evening, shall we? There's a massive bleached sandstone outcrop called White Rocks Overlook, which is recently acquired by Forbes. It's a physically demanding 5-mile round-trip hike to get there. It's just a short drive to the trailhead. It's near those towers in the distance on the ridge. We park our car at the trailhead and marvel at the vast drainage valleys in front of us. Ours is just there on the right, after the tower. What you're seeing here in red is the official Whitetail Trail, which should take us directly to the rock outcrop over in the next drainage valley. That's us way up there in the top corner, getting ready to begin. It's looking like a 5-mile out and back. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. One problem. I forgot to download the trail to my GPS, so we can't see this nice red line. Let's see how we do without a map.
All right, we're at Whitetail Trail. We're going to go out and look for the White Rocks. Carry on.
The beginning part of the trail follows along the ridge. It's pretty easy with only some minor ups and downs. The morale of the group is high.
I was just looking at that valley. That's how I knew you were going the wrong direction. I was looking at that valley with my drone and knew you had to go the right side of it. Where were you going to go, Jesse? Were you just going to end up by yourself out there?
As we begin to encounter some of those minor ups and downs, our bodies begin generating heat and sweat. This is a great time to take off layers and unzip some things.
So I do know the general topology that we have to follow. We have to get around this valley and then on the other side of the mountain.
Eventually, our small trail merged with this 2-track.
Let me know if it does on its own.
That says Whitehead Trail.
Is that our trail? Yeah, it is.
This appears to be where the Whitetail Trail splits from this 2-track
We don't want the
and
white
continues off along the ridge. Since our valley is coming up on the left, I decided to stick to the 2-track, which appears to be heading down towards the rocks.
No, on the map it looks like this
But
trail.
look. Oh, there's the red.
Yeah.
At the end of the 2-track on the ridge, we came to a large meadow. I wonder what used to be here.
Any pipes?
Yeah, maybe it's on the ground.
After the meadow, the track slowly descended into some nearby forest, where we were presented with a choice. If we went left, the trail descended into the valley. It is the proper valley, it's the one that has the white rocks in it. The other direction appears to go up and away from the valley. I figured we should go left and make our descent in. With that, we begin our descent into White Rocks Hollow. Down, down, down we go. Whee! As we descend further and further into the hollow, we notice the temperature increasing. Also, the vegetation has more leaves. But we're soon beginning to wonder how hard it's going to be to come back up all this. I constantly check the map on my phone and my GPS to ensure we're going in the right direction.
Still going down.
As the trail continues to go down steeper and steeper, I begin to question my navigation decisions.
Ah, boy, look at this drop off. Well, that looks like the bottom.
Actually getting down to the valley I was talking about.
Yeah,
That's the hard part.
that looks like the bottom down there.
After this epic drop, it looks like the trail might take us to the other side of the valley that the rocks are on.
About as low as you can get down here.
This is the steepest section yet, and we all know it's going to be a pain in the ass to go back up. That's what a 40-foot elevation drop looks like in just a short period of time. Pretty steep. We're getting close. Somewhere through those trees and down the valley is the spectacular White Rocks outcrop.
I can't believe we have to go up that neck. Oh, man. I am using my sticks.
Along about this height above the river. It should wind us around. And the outcrops of the road on the other side. He's probably got to see it.
Here we go.
Damn, this is steep. Why is the trail going so far up again?
This is tough. This is toughy.
Football fields.
Morale is beginning to diminish
That's
fast.
8 football fields.
This is requiring a ton of energy, and Mom is voicing concern about her physical limits.
Or 7.
I'm clueless about the landscape ahead and the time we have left.
You can give Mom a push, right? You don't want to take a break?
Because I really know what my body should take.
All right, let's go up a little more.
I ran ahead to check the coming terrain and see if we were almost done climbing. I was absolutely crushed by what I saw ahead. I came back to share the news to my parents.
We're here.
Not only does the hill not end, it gets even steeper, and in fact, it jumps back up to the ridge again.
So we have to go all the way up to the top of that.
Why don't you let me go up there first and take a look?
Yeah, you go up there and take a look.
Little do I know, I have a 310-foot ascent in front of me.
There's some rocks.
Oh wow, look at me. All the way up on the ridge again.
I'm at the top. I'm looking straight down. I mean, it goes up the rest of the hill that way, and then it turns left. And it goes along the top of this valley. It was tough to get up here.
There's no way in hell my mom's gonna want to do this. So I give them a call. They told me to go ahead and try to reach the rocks, while they hang back and eat supper and wait for me in their current location. I thought, well, let's see how far I can get. It's gotta be close. While I head on further down the trail, let's go back to my parents' hangout spot and see what they're up to.
What's up, Dale?
We stopped here and Ron and I had our lunch, Subway. Ryan proceeded to go up to the White Rock. I said, I can't go up that hill. I can't do it. So we stopped here in the middle of a hill and he went on. So that's what's up.
All right,
Now I'm
sweetheart.
gonna sit down and play some games.
Okay.
On this Hard Rock Cafe. Oh.
Meanwhile, this trail is just beating the hell out of me. Down and up and down and up. I'm mostly starting to realize that I should have bushwhacked just directly to the rock outcrop instead of trying to follow these trails. Eventually, I just said hell with it and just went back to a clearing I found in the valley to send the drone up. My dad called and said they were going to start walking back. Filled with excitement and wonder still, I packed my drone up and headed back to meet them. When I came to the meadow that me and my parents were at earlier, I thought to myself, wait a minute, how the heck did I get to this meadow without finding them? I'm so confused. We should have met up. I should have seen them. I called my dad, and he said they hadn't been to the meadow yet, so we started calling out to each other. I could hear my mom's voice echoing around the valley walls in front of me, so I started heading back down the hill to meet them.
We wouldn't have had to do that if we went straight over the ridge.
And you didn't know that.
We have to go up that.
So we have to go this way to get back?
All the way up that.
Still got battery?
I got it on.
That was difficult, yeah.
Well, I'm absolutely beat, and I know my parents are as well. In fact, this trail has concreted my mom's idea that she doesn't like these types of intense hikes. We made our way back to the parking lot, excited to get back to camp and have a fire and some dinner. After an exhausting day of hiking, it feels really good to sit by the campfire and chat and have a nice cup of hot chocolate. For supper, Mom is making pasta fagioli with sliced pepperoni roll for dipping. Ooh, yes.
Well, you're going to be turning on the microwave pretty soon.
10 minutes later.
Pasta fagioli. Oh, look at that. Pasta fagioli and pepperoni rolls. Oh, man, look at that. Mmm.
Oh, yeah. That's good. It's good. Night is coming. I'm going to use my thermal scope to see what kind of wildlife is around. I definitely just heard an owl hoot really close. Let's take a look. Yep, how cool. That's most definitely an owl. Look at him staring right at me. This reminds me of a scene from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you staring at them?
Yeah, dude, Charlie's looking right at me.
Stop it. Dude, stop it. He stopped looking. Stop. All right, you know what? God damn it. I'm just going to pour the wine out.
I looked through the woods towards the pond and suddenly spotted something on the other side of it. This is a thermal signature that I have not seen yet, so it's hard for me to identify. I make my way closer and closer, trying not to make too much noise to scare it off. I need to get a better look to see what this is. Is it a bear? It was now swimming around in the pond. As I got closer, I couldn't help but step on sticks and make all kinds of noise. It's definitely looking at me, in my direction. It knows I'm here. I'm probably making it nervous. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a bear. It's gotta be. As I tried to get a little closer, the creature detected my presence and took off. But then I found this. I think it's a flying squirrel coming out of its nest, perhaps? Watch that bright spot closely. Let's see that again a little slower. I probably spent about 30 minutes looking for creatures until I couldn't find any more. After that, we sat by the fire for a while. It soon started raining, so we all retired to our huts and went to sleep. I stayed up for a little bit watching Beavis and Butthead before drifting off to sleep to the sound of the raindrops. Good morning, day 3. Mom's heading back home later today while me and Dad are staying another night. Let's get the day started. It's actually a pretty nice day today. Me and Mom are hanging out by the pond for a while.
What's that song by,
I'm gonna take the drone up and get a few shots. But of course, the good weather didn't last long. It started to rain, so me and Mom headed back up to the car. It's time for my mom to head home. Dad and I will be here for one more night.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
Be careful.
Group hug.
My plans for today are centered around the pond. I want to explore it in its entirety and document anything I can learn about it. Come on, let's see what we can find out. In my opinion, the best place to sit is on the grassy dike that was built to dam the water, turning it from a spring into a pond. I brought my chair so I could sit down and relax while I study the lake and record my findings. It's so peaceful out here. I take a moment to look around the pond and get ideas. Using the dirt between the pond and the road, this dike was built to contain the spring water and make a pond. There's an outflow pipe to ensure the water level doesn't rise above the berm. The water actually appears to be coming out from below the pipe though. There's an interesting array of flora and fauna here that appreciate these acidic conditions. Salamanders can be seen slowly swimming amongst the leaf litter.
Look like Sally.
Tiny.
No, they didn't have those.
A few different species of sphagnum moss can also be found along the edges of the water. It's been here for a while and thriving as it created these hummock mounds. Sedges can also be seen decorating the shoreline in sporadic tufts of green. They look like grass, but can tolerate these wet conditions, and they also stay smaller. Just behind the berm towards the road, there were mounds of this piled dirt. I noticed a really cool looking flower that I've never seen before. There were also a couple different species of club moss around this section of the pond. I stopped to take a water reading. The pH is slightly acidic at 6.5, and the total dissolved solids is reading 55 parts per million. Across the pond, a small concrete fishing pier lies at the bottom of the spring's drainage valley. Because of this, it's a little bit soggy walking to it, but there are plenty of sticks and stones to stand on. This is definitely the wet side of the pond. Not only does the spring enter by the dock over here, the entire shoreline over there below the hill is seeping water as well. The campsite is just up that hill, so it's very important that you don't dump anything down it, especially waste. You will directly pollute this ecosystem. I wouldn't even go to the bathroom back there. You can actually see the water leaking out all along this side, where it creates a decent habitat for sphagnum and polytrichum mosses. These are my favorite mosses, so I tread very carefully to try not to disturb them. I take a water reading right where it's seeping out of the hillside. It's pretty acidic with a pH of 4.8, and the total dissolved solids is 53 parts per million. That's the acidity I typically see in a peat bog environment, but usually that water has nothing in it and it stays under 10 parts per million of total dissolved solids. 53 ppms, total dissolved solids. Now I'm curious where the source of the main spring by the dock is at, and what the water is like fresh out of the ground. Let's trace this channel up the hill. I'm up by the campsite now. The spring is running right behind it, through what appears to be a campfire ring or some kind of tubing. Just a little further up the hill and I found the source of the spring. It's covered in a sheet of plywood and there's a discarded hose nearby. You can see the spring water's path as it follows the drainage course down the hillside into the pond down there. Let's test this water source and see what we're looking at. The water coming out of the ground here has a slightly acidic pH of 5.3, and it has 90 parts per million of total dissolved solids in it. I actually wonder if the high parts per million is calcium that's actually neutralizing the acidic water somewhat. After exploring the majority of the pond, I take a moment to write some stuff down in my journal. Suddenly, my dad called down to me from the hill above. He needed help with something. Let's go see what he needs. Apparently, after returning from Walmart to get a part, he was backing in, and he got his front tire a little too close to the edge, and it got sucked into the mud.
Just push me back. See how far I can go back and turn my wheel so I can get to the
Okay.
Push me back.
Let's see if we can get ourselves out of this one.
Say when. Say when.
Ready? Ready? Get set. Go.
Forward and back again.
Ready? Go. Why did it do that? Go like this one, I guess.
Make sure you get them underneath too. Down there. Alright, here's another
That's
one.
not gonna be good. Ready?
Sure.
You ready? Set and go.
Hold on. Go forward and back again.
Go forward. Okay, ready? Go.
Well, I think you got yourself good and stuck here.
Yep, we're stuck all right. Everything we try to do pushes the van further down the hill, and the tires are too bald. We're forced to admit defeat. We call the tow truck company and anxiously await their arrival like a couple of stranded tourists. It's been a couple hours now and night is falling. Actually, I hear somebody coming. I think it's them. A big green Jeep has arrived to help us out.
Okay, we're ready.
After they pulled us out, we exchanged handshakes and thanks and talked for a little bit. They had no idea this campsite existed, and they're locals. They knew about White Rocks, but not that it had been acquired by Forbes. This all must be kind of new. They were really nice people, and it was a good interaction. Thanks again, guys. But be careful of that mud, everybody. This is a $400 mistake to make. Now that we got that over with, it's time to head down to the pond to sit for a while and see if we could spot our unidentified friend from yesterday. As we crept down the hill towards the pond, we spotted some deer with the thermal camera. There's 3 of them down there on the other side of the pond. When we got down to the pond, we sat in our chairs and looked around with the lights first. Then we turned on the thermals and waited. The air's temperature is 42 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so the water looks to be warmer than that due to its lighter color on the thermal camera. In fact, I've been tracking the water most days with the thermal camera and it's about 54 degrees Fahrenheit it seems. Look how warm it is under that concrete dock. It's warmer than the air temperature and the water surrounding it. We didn't really have any luck with the thermal camera tonight, so we just went around the pond looking for animals there. Saw this sleeping fish. This crayfish is wide awake doing his thing.
Oh yeah, there it is.
And last but not least, we saw this insect. We didn't see many other life forms, so we headed back up to the campsite.
Share a little bit about why
Back at camp, we hung out for a while and warmed up watching Beavis and Butthead.
Chicks, and I was like, it was cool. Yeah, it's like we need beer, and we don't want to wait till we're 21.
Then I headed back to my tent to go to sleep.
What is douche anyway? Like, how does it work?
It started raining pretty hard in the middle of the night, and it didn't stop. Thankfully, everything seemed to be holding up. I slept like a baby. The temperature was 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Good morning. Today's the day we head back home. It rained heavily all night, and I believe it even hailed at points. The weather's about to show us just how wacky it can get up here, though. Currently, I'm eating breakfast and drinking a coffee first in the A-liner. Suddenly, a storm cloud rolled over the mountain. The temperature began dropping from the upper 40s to the upper 30s as the rain intensified. When the heaviest part of the storm came, the temperature dropped to 34 degrees Fahrenheit and it started snowing. Look at this. It's like witnessing 3 seasons all at once in one storm cell. While it was snowing, thunder could be heard crackling through the skies. The snow actually started to accumulate on the ground. Look at this. Then, just a few minutes later, the snow stopped and the temperature went back up to 40 degrees. The accumulation melted fast and it looked like it never even snowed. Now, I've heard these ridges are known to change the behavior of storms and swing things and make things kind of funky. Now I've seen it firsthand. How cool. I'm going to take advantage of the clearing in the weather to take some drone shots. Let's see what it looks like up there. Before it began to rain again, Dad and I packed everything up and jumped in the van to head home. What a great campsite here, Forbes State Forest Motorized Campsite 3. Thanks for watching. See you next time.